Hi guys, welcome back to
Dead Sexy Podcast.
Here we are,
Episode 3. And we're talking about funerals and friendship. It's a juicy one. We kind of liked how last week we started with this Mad Libs type thing, so we're going to do it again.
Yeah, we are. So we're going to get into it.
Yep.
We're going to start with funniest or just like intrusive thought that you've had at a funeral.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
That
was quick.
I know. I have had thoughts at multiple funerals where I've been like, what would people do if I just loudly broke out into song right now?
Oh. Okay.
Can you imagine? Because funerals are quiet. Like, people are so quiet.
Mm-hmm.
People are even uncomfortable to laugh at something that's clearly a joke in a eulogy, like meant to make people laugh. So I've always been like, what if I just burst out into like a good old Broadway song?
I think they would be like, she's unwell.
Well, that's nothing new. That would track.
That would track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's yours?
God, it really is all such a blackout. I think this happened at my dad's funeral.
Okay.
For like my mom and my grandpa and my aunt and my uncle.
Okay.
For some reason, I didn't have the same thought. But I think because I hadn't seen my dad for like 3 months before he had passed, when I looked at him, I was like, are you really dead? Like, is this... You look kind of funny.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the formaldehyde.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that you're dead. But you don't look quite the same.
Okay, no, that's so real. I remember I had that same experience. Well, first of all, actually, I want to know, what's your take on an open casket funeral?
I think it's kind of nice because you're like, I see that you're actually dead.
Right.
At least for my dad.
Okay.
I don't know. Because like after I found out that he had passed, there's this weird moment where you're like, are you really dead? Yeah. Like, did you just fake your own death and run away somewhere?
I've had those thoughts too.
So it was nice to see that he actually was
dead.
Mm-hmm.
He was where he said he was.
Well, yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it does. I think I have a different take.
Okay.
I don't know about an open casket funeral because I've actually never been to one.
An open casket?
Yeah.
They're all closed?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I've only seen 2 dead people. Mm-hmm. My grandpa and my late fiance.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm laughing. Because I think I'm just thinking, wow, I've seen so many dead people.
You're like, oh my God.
Wow. I'm like, it's double the amount.
I've only
seen 2.
You're like, I win.
Wasn't a competition for that.
I've only seen 2. And both times, same thing. I was like, this ain't you. Who is this? I don't know. I remember I went with my dad before my grandpa's funeral to like ID his body or whatever. Not ID it, but to make sure they were putting the right person in the casket.
Okay, I haven't done that yet.
And my grandpa had these like really big ears. Mm-hmm. And they showed him to us. And I was like, that's not him. And my dad was like, look at the ears. Yes, it is. And I was like, you're right. He can probably hear what we're saying, even in death.
Definitely.
And then the second seeing my late fiance was like, granted, it's a different situation than a regular open casket, but I also was like, holy shit.
So weird.
I think if I went to an open casket, now having seen that, I would be okay. But I feel like if it was the first time I was seeing a dead body, and I would feel like I think I would feel guilty not going up to, like, I would feel disrespectful if I didn't go up. So you feel like you have this obligation to do it. And if I had never seen one before, I think it would really like wig me out.
Yeah, so my first time going to a funeral, and it was open casket, was for my uncle, who, first of all, I've never met. Of course, I had seen pictures of him, but I was scared. And I was also probably 17. Okay. And so it was definitely a jarring experience. Yeah. I think your first funeral is always
it's true.
A memorable one. It took me a while to gather up the courage. And then the rest, I was like, oh, and maybe because I didn't know him as well. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. The first one's always a rough one, I guess.
Yeah. It's a little shocking.
Do you have any like weird moments from the funeral? I'm sure you do. Oh no.
Oh. Well, I have some weird bad ones.
You know what? It's a safe space.
I've always thought it was odd when somebody makes a funeral like a really exclusive experience in terms of like who is allowed to speak.
Interesting. Okay.
And who's not. For me, at my funeral, first of all, red carpet event, please. I need people to show the fuck out. This is the Met Gala.
Noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, like if somebody wants to speak, well, people... Well, Now that I think about what people could potentially say, for example, if like my mom spoke and it was only her and she didn't let anybody else speak, like that would be very weird to me. Mm-hmm. To not give other people the opportunity to like share their happy memories and like the things that they loved about me. And I've had some of those experiences, which I've just found to be like super uncomfortable. I had a sense of dis-ease, of feeling like I didn't belong at a funeral that I very much had a place at.
Right.
And I had never seen that at a funeral before. Like I had been, like, for example, my grandpa, it was just family. He wanted it to be like very small. And that's one thing. But when it's open to whomever wants to come, but then, you know,
you don't actually give someone the opportunity to, especially if you played an important role in their life,
right,
to express that, I suppose.
Exactly. And then like, for example, like, so people were allowed to speak like afterwards at the like, I don't want to say reception, but it was just like there was food and there was like whatever. And there were like conditions put on what people could and couldn't say. And that was really weird to me.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get up there and be like, fuck this person.
Truly.
Like people just want to talk about how much they loved them. That was a very weird funeral experience for me that I had never had before.
So I think for my mom's side of the family, since we're all super small, every funeral that we had was literally just immediate family, and then it was one by one dwindled down. Not to be I'm laughing because I'm like, this is just,
you're like, there's less and less family at each one
of these. It's a bit sad, but we're moving on. I think there are two experiences with my dad, obviously, and then kind of my stepfather figure. So at my dad's funeral, I wasn't originally invited to the funeral, which is crazy.
What?
Because apparently his wife at the time, that I didn't know about until after he had died, and she didn't know about me after he died as well, she told basically his cousin, who I knew, that I wasn't allowed at the funeral. And after my dad died, when I found out, I immediately called my lawyer to double check that I wasn't being lied to, because I thought it was like a weird joke, because no one told me for 4 days, which was crazy. And then I was told I wasn't invited to the funeral. And so I call him and I'm like, fact checking.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. He's like, you're absolutely going, first of all, because that was your dad. Second of all, if anyone tries to say anything or anything, like, I'll be there. And third of all, he's like, it's like a better look for you if you go, because I think now everyone's starting to question who's like a legitimate child or not, because my dad had 8 kids. So basically he had 4 kids from his first marriage, and then he had 2 kids with one mom, and then it was another one, and then it was me. And so when he was married to this woman for 27 years, they had no kids together, but she had 3 children. So he had 3 stepchildren.
Okay.
And I'm assuming they lived together and all that stuff. So I show up to the funeral. It's super bizarre. I meet, I think, 5 of the 8 kids, and it's just so strange. Like, one of my half brothers walked in, and my jaw was on the ground, because it was a spitting image of my dad, and I was like, this is so weird. But I also walked in, and I think his wife was Taiwanese, and there were so many Asians there. I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm so confused, because my dad is not, he's Italian. He's like very like New York Italian. And I was like, it was just so crazy. So there was this whole slideshow of this life that he had that I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I knew my dad, but like it was just like a certain version of it. So anyways, he's got his like stepdaughters up in the front on the casket crying, being like, thank you so much for coming to my dad's funeral. And I'm like, your dad? You aren't even biologically related to him. But I was like, okay, fine. But long story short, it was weird because some of my half siblings were trying to be kind to me. And also I was like 21, and they're all much older than me. So I did appreciate that, but there was no follow-up afterwards and trying to have a relationship. And I have another 2 half-siblings who didn't know about the funeral until after it happened. Which is...
Why? Like, why?
I don't really know. Yeah, so I guess no one told them until after, when they were trying to figure everything out. So it was definitely a very bizarre experience. But then I kind of had a stepfather figure, and it was like this weird universe moment where I was like, I wonder if he's still alive. So I Googled his name and obituary, and he had died that week. So I reached out because I still had his son's like email, because they had reached out to me when they heard about my mom. I was like, hi, like I don't want to intrude, like obviously this is like a family event, but I would love to be there if that's possible. Like he played such an important role in my life and shaping me into like who I am today. Like he really, I feel like the fact that like I'm such a lady sometimes is because of him. And he really, yeah, no, he was like really incredible. He cared about the way he presented and how well spoken he was, and I think I saw that growing up, and that really influenced me. So they were so kind. They wrote back. They were, we would love to have you there. You were like a daughter that he never had. Please come. And it was so bizarre showing up to that funeral because it was so warm and lively in a way. Of course, everyone was sad. He was also older, so it was like not a surprise. It was just like neighbors from my childhood and seeing, you know, his sons, and they're like, wow, look at you, you're so grown up now. And it was just like that felt more like family to me than my own dad's funeral.
That's
and
hard.
What's crazy is that like I definitely loved my dad more than like my stepfather figure, sort of, but those were my like funeral experiences.
I don't understand, people get so possessive at funerals. Like they want to be like, no, he was mine, no, they were mine, no, she was mine, like I was the most relevant in their life. And it's very like sometimes people make it a competition. Also always fascinating to see who sits in the front row.
Yeah,
because it's always there are always people in the front row that you're like, who the fuck are you?
Literally.
I've never seen you or heard of you before in my life. Like at this is not an exclusive experience. This is like every funeral I've ever been to. There have been people that are, and look, I don't know everybody in somebody's life ever, but when it's somebody really close to you and you're like, I've never
like,
who are you? Who? Like funerals are weird. And then, here's the other like best part is when you have, okay, so I'm Jewish, so like we have so much food.
Okay.
Always.
Love.
There's Shiva afterwards. You sit Shiva for like a couple of days and there's so much food. I'm always fascinated to see what the spread's going to be.
Wait, what are the typical spreads?
So at Shiva, there's usually a lot of Jewish food. Yeah. So, okay, my favorite is noodle kugel.
Yum.
So good.
Okay.
Always bagels.
Always bagels.
Bagels, cream cheese, lox.
Classic.
All of it. I remember at my papa's Shiva, so my mom's dad, we had it catered. And again, like it was a lot of like potato salad, tuna salad, coleslaw. I love all that shit. But my cousins and my brother and I, we were like just craving pizza, and we just like ordered pizza at the house. And it was all, like a lot of like older people. And they were like,
not the pizza.
They were like really deeply offended that we ordered a pizza. Even though like my mom and my uncle catered it and stuff, and they didn't give a shit. But like some of his like older friends, they were like,
it's always the old aunties and uncles
like,
and everyone. Yeah.
Pizza. At my funeral, again, just like make sure the spread is like top tier.
The food's got to be good.
The food, it's so key.
It's important. Yeah.
And for some reason, like I'm always hungry at a funeral, which is weird because whenever I've lost somebody really close to me, I've lost my appetite. Completely lost my appetite. But at the funeral, yeah,
you gotta keep it going.
You gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Okay.
That part excites me.
The spread.
The spread
afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
The post funeral spread. My mom, she's literally said this before. My mom gets so much FOMO. Like she's the queen of FOMO. We couldn't be more opposite because I don't want to leave my house or see anybody ever.
Yeah.
My mom is going to have FOMO from her own funeral.
Because
like
you started with FOMO and I was like, where are we going with this?
She said this. She's like, I want to be at my funeral.
She's
like, I'm going to be really upset that I'm missing out. I'm like, well, in a sense, in a way, your ashes will be. She wants her funeral to be a party.
Of course.
I'm like, I have 3 friends in my family. My funeral is going to be 5 people.
And it will be a party.
Okay.
Anyways, so
next question.
Pivoting.
If your funeral had a sponsor, who would it be?
I struggled with this question when we came up with it, and I'm still struggling. So you go first.
Okay. Red Bull. Red Bull.
Yes.
A, I love Red Bull.
You do.
B, if I am an angel, which I'll be an angel. Let's be so for real.
Obviously.
Everybody else needs their wings too. Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red Bull, if you're listening and I die, sponsor my funeral. And know that that's enough.
And you'll be like looking down from above and being
ball
like,
gowns and Red Bull. Period.
Okay, we still have to figure out who would sponsor me. I'm like, my favorite meal maybe like a Heidi Lau hot pot. I love hot pot. Maybe Joe's Shanghai because I love their crab meat soup dumplings, but you can't have but you can have other food.
I love soup dumplings,
But they're not here. They're in New York. So
wait, I've been there.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh,
On right next, like near Canal Street.
yes.
Oh, it's so good. I used to go there for lunch before I got fired from my corporate job.
You used to work in New York?
Yeah. I moved to New York after I graduated college, and I was there for like 2 years, a year and a half.
What did you do?
I worked at a consulting firm. It wasn't for me. I got fired after a year.
That was lore I did not expect to hear tonight.
But it was on Spring Street.
Okay.
The office was on Spring Street. And my college roommate also worked there for a little while, and so we would go to Joe's Shanghai for lunch.
Oh, it slaps. It slaps. I mean, I feel like
so good.
I've been going since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It would be, yeah. How are you when you comfort your friends when they go through things?
Okay. So it depends what that thing is. I don't know if it's because I haven't done enough work or because it's still relatively fresh, but I do struggle with when I am trying to be there for somebody or listening to what they're going through. I will always validate them, but sometimes, if we're being totally honest, in my head, I'm like, you have no fucking idea. And that's a really like unhealthy place to live, because of course they have no idea. I remember when I was younger, whenever my mom and I would fight, and she would be like, do you know how lucky you are to have a mom? And it didn't mean anything to me when she said it, because I had no point of reference.
Right.
I had no point of reference to be like, well, this is what it would be like without one. So I have to remind myself that whatever that person is going through, like, that is very big and very valid to them, because they don't have that comparison to be like, well, this is what it feels like to lose your fiance, so maybe this breakup isn't as significant. Like, that's not, and that's such an unreasonable expectation,
because they can't even fathom.
Also, like, it's not about me.
Yeah.
Like, their experiences are not about me. Why would they sit there sad over a breakup and be like, well, Maddie's fiance? Like, that's crazy thinking.
No, I feel like there were so many years, and I think I still probably do it, and I'm working on it, where it doesn't need to come back to me.
Yeah. But it's so
crazy.
true.
No, but it's true. I'm getting better, and it's something I'm like really working on, where if I'm offering someone advice, where I'm holding space for them, where I'll just try to really hold the space and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I'm learning as of right now, while I'm still doing that work, to remind myself that like everybody's, because I think about like before my fiance passed, if I was going through something and somebody had responded to me in a way that invalidated my feelings, I would be like, fuck you. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm going through this breakup. I'm going through this, you know, someone is sick or whatever it is, this stress. Like, fuck you for making me feel like it's not valid because it's not what you went through.
I also think it's interesting, like, with advice given and you giving advice. I recently got into a thing with a friend, and I understood that she had really good intentions. She loves me so much, and a couple of my friends have done that. And it doesn't have to do with like grief and loss. It was kind of like on the relationship side of things. I think what was so frustrating is because I'm so aware of my issues and what I'm going through, I just need time and space to move through it. And when someone, it's like what they're telling me, I already know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is nice to rehear that and be reminded. And sometimes it just feels like you don't trust me in knowing what's best for myself. And the most frustrating part is that, like, I have gone through 10 times the amount of things that you have gone through. So yes, this is a very trivial thing that I know I'm going through. I'm still going through it, and I'm human, so I'm allowed to, as we all are. But also be reminded that, like, I'm a tough fucking cookie. So
You are.
Like, it just, and I think that's what really made me upset in that moment. And then afterwards, of course, like, they apologized and all of this stuff, and it all was good. I cooled off, and it was like fine. Like, we're still super, super tight. But I think sometimes in those moments, it's like, do you not realize that, like, I've really gone through some real shit, and because I don't carry it with me and I don't always talk about it. Well, now I don't. Before, I used to wear it all the time because I was still processing and going through it and trying to understand it and trying to figure out what role it played in my life and how I want to show up as a person. And so now I'm able to put all that behind me. I think when people meet me now, they are always kind of surprised that I've gone through so much because I don't advertise it first when I meet them. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, completely. I think almost kind of like you don't need to be so worried about me because you have no idea what I can get through.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like, especially if it's a reoccurring thing that I'm working through, like, I just need my time to work through it.
Yeah.
And I think I just need, and I've gotten better about being like, hey, I need this from you. So I think we should actually talk about, like, let's normalize voicing what you need out of someone. Like, hey, I just need a vent, or hey, like, I really don't know what to do, or hey, like, I need a little bit of both. A couple of my friends and I have started doing this where we'll start the conversation, they'll be like, okay, before you go down this, like, you know, thing, how do you want me to show up for you?
Yes. Something my sponsor taught me is like one of the first things you can ask is, do you want support or solution?
You literally did that to me the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes I was like, I don't even know what I said. I was either like, I don't know, or I think I was just like, I think I just need a vent.
Yeah. Because sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes you want to vent and you don't want, like, there are times that I just want to vent and someone will be giving me solution and I'm like, I don't want to be in the solution right now. And that might not be healthy, but I want to sit in what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
Even though it's like anger or sadness or whatever. And then sometimes I'm like, I want help because I don't want to feel this way anymore. So I want help getting towards the solution. For me, this is something I'm still working on, but before I relapsed, so before my fiance died, before I had gotten to a place where I really liked the person that I was, and I was really proud of how I showed up for people, because even in my mind, I did a really good job of not making it about me and not comparing it to what I had been through and being like very present in what they were saying. And when my fiance passed, everything became about me. And so I'm still learning how to show up in a way that internally I'm not making it about myself. And I get really frustrated when people don't handle the situations that are hurting them in the ways that I think they should handle them.
Yes.
And that's like totally a me, that's really a me thing. Like that's like a me fault and flaw, obviously. But I can't be upset with somebody by being like, this is why aren't you doing that? Like, because with the way I handle things, people probably feel the same way. They're probably like, why, this is the solution. Like, why aren't you?
It's always easier said than done when it's not you, right? And we can always give advice with taking our own advice. It's like, oh,
I know.
That's a rough one.
I can give advice all day, and then taking my own advice is like,
excuse me,
so much harder. But that is a really, really important one. I think it also, I've noticed that asking that question helps to avoid a lot. I don't want to say fights, because to be honest, I don't fight with my friends. Like, I don't know the last time I had a fight with one of my friends, but I don't want to say resentment, but maybe like annoyance.
I think sometimes that's happened, and I think people have gotten a little sensitive because they're already in a weird place to begin with, so they feel like I'm attacking them. When I go, how do you want me to support you? They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, I just, do you want, like, you know? And so I've gotten into a couple of those before, but overall, like, I think we should just normalize it.
I agree. I think also, I don't know how you're asking if it's like phone or but I think over text it can be really difficult.
It does, because you read
tone
that
doesn't come through.
Yes.
Like, I can picture I feel like I would read it in the way it was intended just because I know, but for somebody who's not used to being asked that, they might read it as how do you want to be supported? Like what do you want?
Like a throwaway.
Almost.
Yeah, I agree.
When somebody's in a really sensitive space,
I
can see that. But exactly what you're saying, we should normalize it, because it really, that like prevents so much conflict when you show up for somebody in a way that that's not what they're looking for, and they're already sensitive, and it makes them more sensitive. But I think it's a really good way to start the dialogue, because it helps you to put yourself in that mindset, figure out how to be present for that person.
I feel like recently I've had a couple of friends go through loss, and I wish I could go back and remember what people have said to me, the like initial reach out. How do you reach out, and what do you say?
Okay, so when I've reached out to somebody, I don't have any close friends or people that have gone through like very significant losses recently. Actually, one of my close girlfriends just lost her dog, and like that is, I do think that pet loss is like incredibly significant. A lot of the time but I even do this with people I'm not close with. If I see something like on Instagram,
right,
and I'll just reach out and I'll be like, hey, I just want you to know, like, I'm thinking of you. Like, no need to respond or anything, but if there's anything that I can do to help support you, let me know, and I'm here.
I love that, like, don't feel like you have to respond.
Yeah.
Because now that you're saying it, I remember people would respond to me, and I felt like such an asshole for not getting back to them, because I didn't have the capacity.
Yeah.
Because what do you fucking say? Yeah, like, how are you? How do you think I fucking am?
Yeah. I hate that question. How are you doing? How are you doing? How the fuck do you think I'm doing? Not the best.
Not stellar.
Not loving this.
Nope. Not having the time of my life. No. But like, not gonna tell that to like someone who doesn't really know me.
No. Well, unless you're me and you tell the whole internet. But most normal people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's, I think, relieving the pressure of somebody feeling like they have to respond, because when somebody's going through that, like,
yeah. And if they choose to reach out to you, there's something about you that they want, they know that you get, and that you would understand. So like, at this point, I feel like I just kind of said my message saying, hey, I saw this and I am so sorry. If you need anything at all, know that I'm here for you and that I love you, and like no pressure in responding. Just sending you lots of love. Yeah. I think is kind of like how I respond, depending also too on like the level of friendship and closeness.
Totally.
I did have one really close friend that we had a little bit of a friendship falling out because she had lost someone super close to her in her family. I think it was a bit of a miscommunication, and we ended up talking about it afterwards recently, and now our friendship is fine. But she was like, I was still kind of fresh from losing this person, and you were going on about something else, and I just felt like I couldn't really talk to you, and like we were just not on the same page. And I'm like, I am so sorry that you felt that way. I didn't know how you wanted to be supported, and I just figured at some point you would tell me. And also too, like, I was in such a different place of my like journey, and granted, like, I was still and this was maybe 2 years ago, so like I was still far out, but I do feel like in the last 2 years there has been such a huge transformation and within myself and like my relationship to all of this, because I continuously try to like chip away at being better.
Yeah.
And that was such an important friendship for me. So it broke my heart that she felt like I couldn't understand, but also like I hadn't experienced a loss like that in that form. And also like I am not her and she is not me. And we all go through it so differently. So at this point, when I do see someone go through something like that, I'm like, how do you want me to show up for you? Yeah. And if you don't know, that's okay. Yeah. And I'll continuously try to check in. I don't want to smother them, but I also want to give them space. Yeah. I think it's just totally,
Yeah. I found that the reach outs, I guess, that were the most helpful did come from people who had experienced significant loss, because they tended to approach it in that way. And then something that drove me crazy, and this is like a little bit of like a sidestep, but people comparing. So I will never forget, we know I posted a lot when it happened. Yeah. And I posted something on Instagram, and it was really fresh. It was like maybe a month and a half, 2 months out. Just about like how much I missed him and that I was having a hard time. And there was someone that I knew who was going through a breakup at the time. Okay. And they responded being like, ugh, tell me about it. I know how you feel. And I was so angry. And I think I responded something like, yeah, except yours is alive. Because I just couldn't hold it in. Yeah. And I understand that I think it comes from a place of, like, as humans, we want connection. We crave connection. And I think it comes from a place of wanting to connect and wanting to make somebody feel less alone. But I feel like it's a good rule of thumb. Just avoid comparison.
Okay. Not to say hot take. We're not bringing back the hot takes, but here we are. So I am working on this very actively. I always share my experiences when I really don't need to, but that is my way of saying like, hey, I totally understand, or like I understand a version of it. Like that is me trying to connect.
I think that's different. I think that's really
but
different.
I also have the wherewithal to know if someone's like there is a difference between.
Yes. I think it's really different to say something along the lines of like, this is what I went through. And so like in a way I can understand what you're feeling.
I always do preface in a weird convoluted way. We're now coming back to this is me trying to be like, yes, this is how the two relate in my brain.
Yeah, I think
hoping you might see it.
I think that's really different than just outright being like, I know how you feel, when it's a completely different situation. And I don't want to say less bad, but like one is objectively less bad than the other.
I do agree.
And
it's like when people have issues with their families, which I get it. Like you don't ever know someone's family life, but if there's an opportunity to maybe have a conversation, even though it may not go anywhere, the fact that you're able to still have a conversation at all. Yeah. And they would pick up the phone when you called. Yeah. Or if like you had nowhere to live, you could move back. Oh, you know what drives me crazy?
Tell me.
Not me heavy breathing into the mic. It's when people are like, they claim they have such a bad relationship with their family, but I know if they were ever almost homeless, they would move back home. Yeah. And they compare. They're like, oh, it's kind of similar not having. Like I've kind of had that a couple times, and I'm like, but I can't move back home because there's no home to move.
They're dead.
Because there's no home to move back to.
I think as a general rule of thumb, don't ever compare a relationship, regardless of the status, with someone who's alive to someone being dead. Yeah. In my opinion, just bottle it. Yeah. Just bottle it. There are other things you can say. Shut it down.
Yeah. Period.
We want to talk about the absurd human moments in saying goodbye to someone. I feel like I did a lot of like really weird shit. I don't think I've said goodbye.
You haven't?
No. Because I still, like, I talk to him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I still ask for signs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've said goodbye to anybody who passed, really.
I think we talked about it the other day where I feel like I never got that proper goodbye, that final conversation, because it wasn't expected for all the losses, except for my grandpa. But that was also kind of a weird one. All of that happened, but I was there for him in his final moments. That's always a weird one.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine.
It is a weird one. I think that's where I was able to say goodbye. And that was a really beautiful moment and such, like, I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
It was, yes, hard, but I'm like, you know, it's harder for him because he's on the way out.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I lied. I did.
You liar.
My papa, I know. Oh, God. My papa, my mom's dad, because he died of lung cancer. And we knew, you know, like we knew. And so I went, he wasn't in his like dying days. I think this was maybe like a month before he passed. And he was lucid until the day he died.
Wow. Yeah.
But I went to his house in Manchester, New Hampshire, and he like made me lunch. And we both knew.
Yeah.
Because I was going back to school. I was a freshman in
you weren't
college, and we knew I wouldn't see him again. And that I was really happy that I got to do that. Like that was really nice.
I think there's something really beautiful in those moments, even though it is really hard and very bittersweet, and it's heartbreaking because you're like, wow, and you sit with the finality of that. But it is such, I hate to say blessing if you can and have the opportunity to, but it is. And I know that sounds so weird to say, but that's just my experience, guys. Just me.
I agree. This is gonna be a really crazy thing to say in a way that it's like so obvious. But like, I just really wish we knew what happened.
Why do you think I spend so much money on mediums?
Yeah, right.
And psychics.
Because I'm like, I just would be I would be so comforted to know, unless it was like the thing I don't want it to be. But like, it would just make everything so much easier if we knew for sure that they're still around us or that consciousness continues or whatever. I would things would be so much more comfortable.
I also find it weird when I go, because my mom and grandpa, aunt and uncle are buried, and so is my dad, but they're buried at two different cemeteries.
Okay.
Which makes my life fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Are
they close together?
No.
Okay.
One's in deep Brooklyn, and the other one's like upstate New York. I'm like, are you for real?
Why?
Well, I mean, where my mom's buried, it's very beautiful.
Okay. I want to be cremated. But I don't really give a shit what people do with my ashes.
Okay.
Who would I be to judge what someone did with my ashes? I'm dead.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to care.
Yeah. I agree. What's done is done.
What's done is done.
So I think it's really weird to go and visit, or like every couple of years kind of go. I don't do it every single year. I just think it's weird to like sit and talk to them, but I try to do that. I don't know if it gives me anything, but
that's, I think, like, it's so different for everybody. My grandpa is buried. My papa is buried, I believe, too. I've never gone to visit their graves. I don't, because, okay, in terms of spirituality and stuff and all of that, I don't think that somebody would be chilling at their grave.
Yeah,
after death. Like, why would you want to?
Sometimes I'll speak to them.
Yeah.
The ancestors.
Yeah.
Ancestor.
Not one.
You know, but a little bit. Yeah, I'm like a little bit the ancestors,
movie.
You know? Like sometimes I'll speak to them if I feel really lost and like ask for support or guidance. I don't really ask for signs because, as we said, I don't really believe in signs. But when they are right in front of me, I'm like, can't help but to wonder if this is a sign.
Yeah. Yeah,
I didn't really get to say goodbye to my mom or my dad, really. But my grandpa, yes. But I don't know. I think goodbyes are most overrated.
We talked about this, like the closure, the goodbyes. It's never, I don't want to say never because we both just talked about having like beautiful goodbye experiences. I don't think you're ever going to get that like complete finality.
I think that's very much so like movie made up, Hollywood thing.
I agree.
In my personal experience. And if you got that, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
I like, seriously, I love that. You know, good for you.
Yeah.
Again, what a blessing to be able to have that experience, but wouldn't know. Except for from the grandpa.
Wouldn't know.
So yeah, I guess only
but
one.
Even still, I feel like, okay, if I were being completely honest,
when are you
there
not?
are a lot. Such a good point.
Continue.
There are a lot of questions I would want to ask that I feel like I can't ask someone who's dying. Like I would want to be like, are you scared? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Are there things that you want me to do? Or like, what legacy do you want to leave behind? Or like, what things do you want me to accomplish? But I wouldn't, because that is addressing the fact they're going to die. I would be comfortable asking my mom those questions.
Right.
Anybody else really? I don't think I would want to ask. And so for me, those are the questions that I would want answered in order to really get that sense of like completion.
Right.
That I just wouldn't ask.
That's fair.
I do talk to my loved ones that have passed a lot, and I yell at them sometimes.
Yeah.
My favorite thing when I'm in a mood of self-pity is to be like, haven't I been through enough? Why are you not making things better for me?
Truly.
Why are you letting this happen to me? Oh, it's so self-indulgent, the self-pity. It's so self-indulgent, but I love to yell at them like it's their fault. And
then there's like that other side where you're like, this is probably a lesson that I need to learn that clearly I'm not learning. Yep. So they're like, you need to learn this lesson. And I'm like, can you just tell it to me? Yeah. Could we make this just a little easier?
They say in AA that pain is the touchstone to spiritual growth. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I've endured a lot of pain, and
somehow, say that one more time. Pain, it's
is the pain is the touchstone to spiritual growth. And I'm like, then why haven't I grown more spiritually? You would think.
I do say like people need adversity in life
to grow. I agree.
To grow.
The sentiment of a lot of the sayings in AA is really important and profound and beautiful, and the wording sometimes is a little bit funky.
Because there's something like, can you just level with me? As you said the other week.
Sometimes we need levity, but we need people to level with. No, sometimes
just say it how it is.
Like, say it how it is, please.
Say it with the hairs on your chest.
Say it with the full chest.
Yeah.
Like chin to the sky. I wanna.
This fucking sucks, but it will get better.
Yes.
Period.
Oh, that's the other thing that I keep like touching.
I know. We just talked
about hating like physical touch. I'm going
Can I help you?
Clearly sleep deprived. I really appreciate when somebody says, yeah, that really fucking sucks. I hate somebody pointing out a silver lining. Unless I've brought up the silver lining, don't tell me about the silver lining.
I love how different we are. I also like fully acknowledge that I can be such a hypocrite sometimes, like fully. I have gotten into trouble for bringing out the silver lining, because I think when I go through it, like I know it's like my brain splits into two, where it's like I rationally know that I will come out the other side, and like these are all the good things that will happen, and I just gotta rewire my brain and view it that way. But then I also feel the way that I feel because I'm feeling self-indulgent and I want to sit in my pity and I want it to be woe is me. So both can coexist.
Totally.
And they do. But I also, again, I'm not the best person to comfort, which is ironic because I've gone through so much. But I will do that thing. I'm like, well, and then I like verbally get slapped across the face.
I think that it's helpful for a lot of people. For me, I kind of turn into a child a lot of the time, especially
bold statement. Okay. Expand.
In the way that I'm like, I know that I'm gonna, like you said, I know I'm gonna come out the other side, and I know I'm gonna grow from this. But it's almost like I throw a little temper tantrum, and I'm like, but I don't want to. I don't want. Nobody fucking wants to. No. Nobody's like, yes, pain. Yeah, yes, well,
I'm ready to grow.
Some types of pain, but nobody's like, yes, heartbreak. Yes, like, nobody wants that. And I will like dig my heels in and be a little child and be like, but I don't want to go through this. Like, why me? And so when I'm in that frame of mind, when somebody points out a silver lining, I'm like, I don't care.
No, like, literally, it's like when you're going through a breakup and someone's like, well, thank God because they were removed from your life for a reason. I'm like, but I don't feel that way right now.
I know God's protection is God's rejection is God's protection.
I'm like, I know you're right, but I really don't feel that right now. And 100%. It's just like, what do you mean?
And also the thing about breakups is like, at least for me, when I've gone through a breakup, like they do feel like the end of the world. They feel like, maybe it's also a BPD thing, but it's like, I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like I'm never going to be okay. And I've always looked back and been like, thank God. Like, thank God that didn't, not even in a throw shade way, in like a thank God that didn't end up being my person, because
which is not a good fit.
It wasn't a good fit, and it wouldn't have been like the right move or the right life for either of us. Neither of us would have been our best, happiest selves. But in that moment, you're like, I'm never going to survive. I feel like I'm dying. Like, this is the worst pain ever.
But I feel like the more you go through that and you realize that like, you almost like train your brain to be like, that didn't work out, and in time we'll see why it won't. Then you trust that. you move through it a little easier, if that makes sense.
There is always a comfort in knowing, at least for me in my experience, like I will inevitably, there's no situation I think in which I like am looking back on a breakup being like hung up on that person forever, being like, I wish it was them, I wish it was them. Do you know what I mean? I've never, that has never been my experience.
Yeah.
So I do think there is a comfort in knowing like, okay, and I have said this to my like good friends going through breakups, and maybe this isn't the right thing to say, but I've always been like, you will look back and be happy it wasn't them.
Yeah.
Like when you are, if you want to get married, when you're like walking down the aisle and you see your husband, you're not going to be thinking about them. But if you are, you're going to be like, thank God I'm not walking down to this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just don't, because I haven't had that experience where I look back at a relationship and I'm like, I wish. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I don't even remember how we got here.
I mean, it's just a preview into our...
The tangents are tangenting tonight. Tangenting.
Just a preview into our dating episode down the road.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're going to do an episode on dating after law.
Shall we jump into our...
Joy of the week?
Joy of the week. It's been a week.
Oh, I know my joy of the week.
Oh, what is yours?
I moved.
I know.
I moved out of my water damaged, black mold, termite infested, unsafe pool because the paint has leached into the water home.
Yeah, really glad you're out of there.
Me too. My new home. And that has brought me a lot of joy, despite the fact that one of my dogs already tracked shit all through the house. And I spent like 3 hours cleaning during glam time for this, right before this. That is not my little joy of the week. That has been like a huge joy.
You are glowing.
Okay, this is going to be crazy, but I literally looked in the mirror and I was like, I think I'm already getting like prettier.
Yeah.
From being out of that, because I think it's, well, not only the stress, but it's like when you're living in a home with all this water damage and mold, like mold is a very real thing. And it's termite, all of these things, like no doubt the pipes are like rusted and all of that. And the water from the like, I said this all the time. I like was breaking out there, which doesn't usually happen. Like that house was making me ugly. I swear. And I'm too vain for that shit. I'm breathing clean air. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I feel like it's just having that peace of mind. Like your home is like, at least for me, like I feel like home is so important because that's a safe space. It's
supposed to be like your sanctuary.
Yay.
So.
Yay, new house.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank God. Okay. What's yours?
My friend's in town. And so that's really exciting. I hadn't seen her in almost like, I think 10, 11 months. It was crazy because she like went on this whirlwind trip to Europe for a while with this guy that she was dating. And then he actually like broke up with her while they were there. But then she went on this really beautiful like whole journey on her own, which was kind of meant to be, honestly. Yeah. And we were just talking about it today. So yeah, so she's going to be in town and staying with me for a little bit, which I'm really excited to get a little like time in. And so I think that is a joy of the week because I just love quality time with people that I love. Okay, so we just put an end to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was this episode about?
Thanks for coming on the ride with us.
Thanks for coming. We hope you enjoyed it. We definitely did.
See you next week.